What's going on, everyone? So the acquisition of Christian Wood was massive for the Lakers, right? Gives them a legit scoring threat that can go give you 17 a game at a 6'10 size, can play both sides of the ball, and really be a key component for the Lakers' success and potentially win an NBA championship. The one sort of question mark as far as Christian Wood goes is his defense. And reports out of training camp are talking about, hey, Christian Wood has been really good defensively in training camp. Darvin Ham praised Christian Wood for his defense and his competitiveness so far in training camp. Now, it is training camp, right? We're not even in the season yet. Can he continue to stay committed throughout the course of this season? But the big question has been, what's going to happen with Christian Wood, right? He was promised a big, important role, which I fully expect him to have that regardless, whether he's coming off the bench or starting. But he was also under the assumption that he would be able to work hard to potentially get a starting role here with the Lakers. Now, we know 4 of the starters are essentially locked in: D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. So far, it's looking like Jared Vanderbilt very likely is going to be in the starting unit, which I have said repeatedly. I personally think that's what the Lakers should do. Keep that cohesiveness, keep that chemistry from last season. That was a starting 5 that led you to a Western Conference Finals, allowed them to continue to grow and develop. I also think it's the best balanced roster that the Lakers have. You have your 2 best playmakers alongside LeBron James. You have your 2 best shooters alongside LeBron James. You have LeBron James, who can basically do everything. Jared Vanderbilt's your best defensive player, not named Anthony Davis, but is your best on-ball defensive player and the guy that can guard any player in the league, essentially, not named like Jokic and Embiid. And then you also have Anthony Davis, who is, I'm expecting a very MVP level season from him. And you get all those things, the Lakers are going to be extremely tough to beat. But if Christian Wood really is actively being bought in and effective on the defensive side, it might be very hard not to eventually start Christian Wood. Because here's the thing. I don't like the idea of LeBron James playing the 3. I don't. Can he? Of course. It's LeBron. But at his age, 38, going to be 39 in December, and then year 21, the last thing you want is him chasing around twitchier type perimeter wings that he's got to now exhaust himself and wear himself down, right? Him playing the 4, he can kind of just camp out. And I mean, how many times do we see him not even go run and close out and put a hand up, which that drives me crazy a little bit. But we also have seen when he wants to, he can lock down and really defend at a high level still. But you want him to kind of coast over the course of the season, right? You want him healthy and ready for the playoffs. That's more important than anything. And if LeBron can play the 4, that would be great. But if you had to play him at the 3 in like a 5-minute dose to start the game, I know he can do it if he wants to. My concern would just be, does he really truly buy in defensively? But having a front court of Christian Wood and Anthony Davis, if they're both bought in and locked in defensively, that would be massive, right? Because now you have you have a 6'10", 6'11", center and power forward combo, both with long tree-like wingspans, and good luck trying to score in those trees. Christian Wood is actually really good at defending out on the perimeter. Darvin Ham even talked about something that I've talked about before, which is maybe even playing Christian Wood at the 3, which maybe that could be the answer. But then I feel like you're kind of taking away from the Twin Tower type idea where you have the 2 giant centers that you have to like kind of get through in order to score, right? But I mean, even Christian Wood out on the 3, 38% 3-point shooter, gives you some real size and length. It'd be really hard for opposing teams to really match up with that size out at the 3 spot, right? It's kind of like one of the advantages that the Denver Nuggets have with Michael Porter Jr., right? He's 6'10" and can just light it up from 3. So you could kind of play Christian Wood in that type of role, a Michael Porter Jr., a Lauri Markkanen type rotation or set. But again, if Christian Wood is locked in, bought in, and working hard on that defensive side of the basketball, then I mean he's a better offensive player and shooter than Jared Vanderbilt. Now you do have him for the perimeter defense to guard like a Luka or a Damian Lillard or a Steph or whatever, and then so that is a big factor. But again, offensively, Christian Wood, having him just kind of be that scoring threat, the Lakers would probably be off to the races. And my only concern, though, is the perimeter defense, right? Because D'Lo is a bit of an issue and a liability, although he tried a lot on the Lakers side. Like, he was actually better defensively than he's probably ever been. But he's still not very good defensively. But he has all the tools, which is, I'm hoping he buys in and continues to buy in and can improve this season. But he's not a good defender by any stretch. Then you have Austin Reeves, who's good, not great. And then LeBron James, like I said, I mean, we saw it a lot last year. Him just not even closing out. Him just, not even putting a hand up to challenge. And so I just feel like if you did do that with Christian Wood and Anthony Davis, good luck trying to score inside. But perimeter-wise, the last thing you want is to get lit up, right? Now you're trading twos for threes, and that could be a bit of an issue. Do you end up going with something where maybe you do go Jared Vanderbilt, right? Austin Reeves wants to play on the ball more. The Lakers in training camp have been using Austin Reeves as the point guard a lot, and that's something that maybe we see. What if they, let's say they take Austin Reeves out of the starting line, D'Angelo Russell out of the starting lineup and go with Reeves at the point guard. Then you have LeBron James at the 2, right? But it's just for position's sake. You're really playing positionless basketball. So you have a starting 5 of, let's say, Austin Reeves, right? Then you have LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, and Christian Wood. So basically you could have Jared Vanderbilt defend, like, let's say we're playing the Milwaukee Bucks, right? You could put Jared Vanderbilt on Damian Lillard, have, Austin Reeves defend, Chris Middleton or whatever, whoever you want. Now, and then have like Anthony Davis on Brook Lopez and Christian Wood kind of just, you're never going to stop Giannis, but giving him space, allowing him, if he wants to take the jump shots, let him live with the jump shots. But now you and Anthony Davis, he has to fight through 2 sizable players to get through. And then you kind of have LeBron James defending and kind of playing in that like free safety position. That could definitely be an approach. I don't hate the idea of like that positionless basketball. Or instead of Jared Vanderbilt, maybe you go with like a Taurean Prince. I don't know. I just think you have Christian Wood, and the one issue has been just the defense, right? Which again, he's not terrible. Like, he has this like reputation the last year that he's awful defensively, which he's not. He's not Anthony Davis, but he's good defensively. He just is put in a position with the Dallas Mavericks to basically be Anthony Davis. Dallas was terrible defensively, and when you have everybody just getting blown by on the defensive end, and Christian Wood is on an island as your only rim protector, yeah, he's going to look pretty bad because that's not what he's good at, right? But he is a good help defender. He's good at defending smaller, quicker guys because he's good at just kind of creating that space and using his length and size with that, like, 7'3" wingspan. And so he needs to work on his pick and roll defense, but he even talked about that, and he said that that's something he's really worked on, and he's been picking Anthony Davis's brain, and he has 2 guys in Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis that are both very good at, the pick and roll defense. So if he improves in that regard, I don't know, it might end up just being hard, or even if they don't start Christian Wood, I wouldn't be shocked if you end up getting a lineup, like I mentioned earlier, that closes, where you get like an Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood, and Anthony Davis, where now you have this just sizable, switchable defensive lineup that also can all shoot, especially if Jared Vanderbilt can be a legit 3-point shooter this year. I'm not talking about necessarily 40%, but can he get to like league average? 35, 36%, somewhere in that ballpark. Even if he's like 33, 34%, at least that's respectable enough to where teams are going to have to challenge and try to close out on that. So that's kind of my hope that ends up happening. But, time will tell. We'll see. I'm rooting for Christian Wood just because, if he has success, then that means the Lakers are probably having success. And I would like to see him in just a quality role regardless, whether it's off the bench, whether it's starting. I definitely think he's going to get some pretty significant heavy minutes. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think Christian Wood at some point ends up earning and becoming the starter at whether it's power forward or a center? Do you think no, like best keep him on the bench? Whatever your thoughts are, however you feel about it, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comment section below.